Hey everybody, welcome back to another LEGO room update. Today we're going to be installing the shelving around the LEGO city, specifically over the campground Ninjago area and also the zoo. A little bit of a nightmare doing this because I've got to move the campground. The campground has tons of trees and minifigures and little bushes and things that can break very easily. So let me tell you, a lot of things broke. It was a little bit frustrating, but hey, I don't think it'll take very long to put back together. Now I'm installing the tracks that are going to hold the shelves. They're like these steel tracks, and then the brackets go into the tracks. So I'm drilling into the drywall. Luckily I came up with this little catch thing, and it's actually just a piece of paper. In fact, it's the packing material that LEGO sends. It's like the brown paper. I just folded it into like a catch, and then I taped that to the wall so it catches all of the drywall dust that's created as you're drilling into the wall. Because there's quite a bit of it, but luckily this thing actually did a really good job of catching it all, so I'm not making a huge mess. Now finding the studs in my basement and actually drilling into them is a little bit more challenging than your standard stud because it's steel studs. So a little bit of a nightmare there, but I am drilling pilot holes and then I'm screwing into those pilot holes. But I just find working with steel studs is so much more difficult than wooden studs. The old LEGO room had wooden studs and it was just so much easier than this one. But hey, I'm getting pretty good at it. I've hung quite a few different shelves in the LEGO room now. So once I have the tracks in the wall, I had to cut some custom length shelves to best fit this area. So I'm able to put the brackets into the tracks and then put the shelves on the brackets. Here's my poor campground and ocean plates. Should be fairly easy to slide back and spot. Thank goodness they're all on mill splits. Should be relatively easy to put back, I think. Sort of making a mess though. There are trees sort of displaced everywhere. A little bit of cleanup has to happen, that's for sure. So I don't have enough tracks to do the shelving over there, but it turns out putting this shelving up is actually a huge task. But it's looking pretty good. So from a further away perspective here, you can sort of see the height of the shelves. I think that's going to work perfect. They're actually 2.5 feet. So the clearance here is 2.5 feet. So we can fit pretty much everything. We can fit the Ninjago City Garden set, which is absolutely massive. The Captain America shield, the Death Star. The shelves essentially are going to be able to accommodate any of the tall sets. So here's my little drywall catch. Did a pretty good job. It caught all the debris, so there's not a whole lot of dust that fell onto the LEGO, thank goodness. That was one of my main concerns there for sure. So I actually did connect the shelves from the underside. I just used these fasteners, one of them. I could probably use 2 of them, but they just have 4 screws and a piece of metal there that fasten the shelves together. So these 2 shelves meet in the corner and are connected right there. So they're well supported. I can't find a stud in the corner to put a bracket there, but I think that fastener sort of does the trick. Also, these 2 shelves are connected as well using one of those fasteners. This is a little bit of a big gap right here, but I decided to go with a 6-foot shelf and a 4-foot shelf. Of course, you can still see the shelf gap, but once you put the LEGO on there, you don't really see that style of stuff, and the LEGO's going to do a great job of hiding the tracks as well. As I mentioned earlier, I find the steel studs a little bit difficult to work with. For example, this track right here actually went in at a slight angle because the steel stud sort of misguided the screw, and now that the hole is there, I can't really fix it. You can see it's at a slight angle. It's causing that bracket to be at a slight angle. Maybe what I should do is cut a new shelf. This one here is currently 5 feet, but maybe I should make it 5 feet 2 inches, and then that won't look so weird. But once again, I think once we get the LEGO on there, you're not really going to see that. Another thing that maybe I could do is just sort of bend this bracket so then it'll straighten it out. I don't know, it's just small little things like that that I notice when I'm actually doing the install, but then as time goes on, you don't even remember that or see it, especially when you get a bunch of cool LEGO on the shelves. Now in the old LEGO room I had LED lights, and I could add LED lights to this LEGO room. Specifically I had them underneath the tables. But we have these shelves over here, and then we're going to have more installed by the amusement park running on this wall right here. And then we have these shelves. But what I could do is run LED lights on the bottom side of the shelf, and of course those would do a great job of lighting up the LEGO city. Now in order to install the shelves on that back wall over there, I need to get 2 more pieces of track, so I'll have to go to Home Depot to pick those up. But I think we're going to save that for another day because I can't stand to look at my city like this. And also we've got an empty shelf here, so I should figure out what we're going to put on this new shelf. The first things that I have to repair and place are my massive boats, the pirate ships. Oh my gosh, that one there got smashed recently. And I think I've knocked it over several times, and same with Metalbeard Sea Cow, because they're actually on the ground right here as you walk into the Lego room, simply because I didn't have a shelf tall enough to accommodate them. So it's gonna feel really good to get these off the ground. It's just so disrespectful to have a set like this on the ground. It is absolutely covered in dust. Might have to give it another bath, if you know what I mean. So to be honest, I'm working at a snail's pace today because these kids won't eat, they won't sleep, and they just won't stop screaming. That is a very cute shirt though. I've started clearing the raised platform by removing Ninjago City, and I'm just making sure that everything is nicely dusted as I bring it over, just so there's no dust on it. Dusting sets on the top shelves will definitely be a little bit difficult, but I don't have to remove the campground to actually access the sets. I can just pop my little step stool in there and grab the sets, or just remove the road and stand on the edge of the table. So every time I want to change the sets or access them, it's actually fairly easy to do in this area of the Lego City. Of course, it's not as easy as all of the other shelves, but hey, I need more space, and this is the solution, so it works. I just think it's so cool that we have the Lego City and then Ninjago City right above it. Just adds a really nice pop of color to that area, and I honestly don't think it's like infringing on the city too much. And these boats up here look pretty fantastic as well. So even without the other segment of shelving installed, now the question is what do we put up there? I don't think I have enough Lego to put up there. But hey, it's a good safeguard for the future because we know there's going to be more and more sets that come out and we want to integrate them into the Lego room. So it's nice that we've unlocked a huge amount of shelving for the future. Ben, don't look so sad. You live a good life, bud. You. Why are you so sad? If you're tired, go to sleep. Simple solution, Mel. Okay?
That face.
Thank goodness. Okay, I've decided that my next task is to reassemble the city. Putting a Mills Lego City back together like this one here is sort of like a very delicate puzzle. Just sort of placing the plates on the table, identifying where that plate belongs, and then sliding them back into their correct positions. Maybe this could have been done differently. Maybe I didn't have to remove as many plates as I did, but I think reaching and stretching was gonna hurt my back more than this already did, and I wanted to make sure that I got these shelves very level, so having full access to the drill points was very important. So I'm glad that I took the time to actually sort of deconstruct the campground just so I could get this installed correctly. My campground is absolutely devastated. So many trees fell over. Would it have been easier just to remove all of the trees? I don't think so, because a lot of them are still standing, right? So only half of them fell over, so therefore it's not as time intensive just to put all of these back. But I'm thinking I might take this opportunity here to evenly distribute the campground trees and sort of disperse them onto this hill here, which currently has no large trees. I immediately decided against evenly distributing the trees because I really like the way the campground looks. It's like a dense forest. So for the most part, I just put them back where they looked good. Trees look good anywhere in a Lego city, and that's why I love them. I know it was for a very short period of time, but it feels good to have the zoo back assembled. It was difficult for me to pull apart. I was like, no, but you know what? It actually came apart pretty easily because that's its own plate. And then the giraffes and ostrich and elephants are their own plate as well. And then the large plates here with the A-frame could just slide over. And all of these ones are individual plates as well, but because the trees are on them, they don't come apart cleanly because trees are only held on by 1 or 2 or 4 studs, so they fall over very easily and they're pretty top heavy. But there's the campground all fixed up. Like I mentioned, I decided not to evenly distribute the trees. We're going to do that later once all my parts arrive and I can build autumn trees that look like this here. And the colors are going to transition from autumn to green up the hill. So all of these green trees in this region will eventually move over to the hill, but I don't really want to leave this barren. I really like the way the campground looks. A lot of people say there's too many trees, but I disagree with that. It looks really good. When I'm standing here and I peer in, I can see all of the awesome stuff within this very dense forest. Uh-oh. Gotta vacuum that up too. The boats look fantastic when they're together, especially that Silent Mary. Oh my gosh, it was so dusty and is still a little bit dusty. I've got to do a little bit better of a job there, but time is running low, and I still don't know what else I'm going to put on this shelf. I want to put the Captain America shield in the corner, but that doesn't really match the theme of Ninjago. Plus, it's really heavy, so I want to make sure that I put some stuff on the left-hand side of that shelf so it sort of counteracts the weight of the Captain America shield. So that's why I decided not to put it up there, or even attempt to put it up there for now. I don't really know what else I'm going to put up there. That's the thing, right? Because if I put stuff up there, I've got to pull it from the shelf. And whatever I put up there, I want it to be big, tall, presentable, make sure it looks good. Like this shelf over here, I was thinking maybe I could move these two ships, but they're not really that tall. So there'd be a bunch of space above them that would be open. I want to put really tall stuff over there. That's sort of the point of it, right? Get rid of the tall stuff and display it nicely over the Lego city. It's just sort of bold sets that look really good over the city. So in regards to the sets, I've still got to think about it a little bit. So now the question is should I rush out to Home Depot and buy the supplies required to hang the next shelf above the amusement park over here? I mean, I'm struggling to fill that one there, but I'm sure if I give it a little bit more thought, I'll be able to fill it up pretty quickly. There is one set that might look good over the amusement park, and that's the Elsa's Frozen Ice Castle. Maybe that'll be a nice home for it over there. I think when that wall is nice and full, it's going to add to the Lego room, just like this shelf has, and I'm pretty fired up. Hey, everybody, I had a great day doing that. It was a bit of a nightmare, like I keep repeating, but it was all right. You know, we got everything repaired, which is good, sort of what I wanted to do, and everything is very easy to put on that shelf. I just have to use the little step ladder, so it's pretty cool, easily accessible. I hope you enjoyed my video of me updating the Lego room here with some new shelves above the Lego city. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and thank you so much for coming on by. Farewell.